Okay, folks, so we got a problem. It's a problem that's common on the forums. Everybody knows it. The issue is if you have this 3-point front assembly and you have for the snowblower, you can drop this part relatively easy, right? It's a pin here, pin there, hydraulic hoses, pull it off. It's not the end of the world. However, the problem is when you try to put your loader on, this part here, from here to here, give or take, will impact this assembly here. There is no way, whether you try to remove this front housing or not, I've tried it, and it will impact this assembly here. And that is, of course, the drive shaft assembly. And you do not want to have to remove the drive shaft for a simple loader project, right? If you're going to use it for, a month or something heavily, then I would pull out the drive shaft to protect it. But otherwise, that's a problem. So I looked around. I saw on a Facebook forum, somebody had just cut their loader kickstand here and here, and then it fit just fine. I contemplated that. However, I feel like that's more damage than I want to do. My long-term solution is going to be to make a cut right here and then weld a plate to the top, weld a plate to the bottom, and so when I marry these two up, I can just bolt them two together. And then I'm going to make a separate little foot welded to another plate that when I remove this, and in the wintertime, and maybe permanently, I don't know, I can just bolt in that extra foot to give me the same length, and then it will work, right? It irritates me that's the design of it, but I guess they couldn't think of everything, and the snowblower is kind of a new thing, I guess. Anyways, that's my long-term plan. My short-term plan, since I have a 15 and 17-year-old boy to help me, is to just take out this bolt and pop the loader off. Or sorry, the kickstand off. And then from there, I'm just going to, when I want to remove it, I'm just going to drop the bucket so it's not heavy. And then I'm going to disconnect, well, you know the process, right? These guys right here. I'm not going to pull it down because then I have to fight with it to get it back up. And then I'm just going to use my boys, one on each side, and we're going to manhandle this thing off. And then leave the kickstand off. And then I can set it like this on jack stands. Or frankly, I could just dump it in the dirt underneath my carport, of course. So I will report back on how that works. For now, I'm not going to do it on camera because it's just me and I'm filming. But I'm going to go ahead and pause this video, pull these nuts off, try to remove this loader, or the loader kickstand, and I'll let you know what the deal is. Okay, quick update. It took about a second with my impact drill and you can't see that, but that's a 24 millimeter socket. All right. That took off these two nuts, 1, 2, and I'm going to put them back on here in a minute, and then I want to show you this. All right, these bolts go through and are part of this pin assembly here, right? So I didn't want to futz with hammering out the pin. You certainly could do that, and then trying to put it back in and deal with the cylinder and, whatever. So what I did was I put a ratchet strap, and I just started clamping it, and it squeezed it tight, and then I used a little rubber mallet, just lightly tapped it, and it popped right off. And so my kickstand is now off. I'm going to have to find some kind of a, well, actually I may not, but I think I want to find like a, maybe a washer or some kind of a, some kind of a better washer system or something to go on that. So we'll see. Otherwise it's just going to go here. That's a little exposed. I think it's fine though, because that's kind of a bushing washer. I'll call it that. That's a bushing, and that kind of fits in probably the center of the pin. And then this was just here, and then this is just flat. So really I would think any washer could just go on there and put the bolt back on. And then you don't have a kickstand anymore. And then I'm going to get my boys and see how tough it is to pick this thing up. I don't think it's going to be hard at all. I think two of us are going to pick it up, put this right here, and then maybe have one on the front kind of lift it up back, and then when it's ready, I'm just going to pull down on this and clip it in, and theoretically that's that'll be on there. So again, super annoying solution, but in the winter time, you know, I don't know, I'm going to use my loader about a dozen times, primarily to load cinders in the back of a plow truck so I can spread it on the roads that I have a contract for. All right, one thing I'll try to do on camera is, you don't want to just use any washer because it'll just press on here. This washer here is actually designed to fit inside here. And then obviously this flat grain piece sits up here, and then this kind of floats a little freely, and I don't know, I just feel like I should replicate factory. So I'm going to drill a nut out to what I think it should be, but just for all of you, it appears it's probably a 1-inch inside, okay? That's about what we're dealing with here. It's about 1 inch, right? So I don't know what size that is if you go buy it. Again, I'm going to, sorry about the filming there, trying to look at two different things. But it's you know, 0.9, 0.95, 1 inch. That's what you're looking for, a 1 inch inside diameter for the whole of the washer. All right, in order to preserve the thickness of this, right, to closely mirror, you know, how it was installed, I went ahead and used my step drill to drill out 2 washers. I think they had like a 1/2 inch center hole or 5/8 inch, and I drilled them out to that 0.95 or 1 inch or whatever, and it fit really tight, fit like a glove. So this one's done. Now I got to drill out 2 more for this side, and again, that's kind of what it looks like. There's a little spacer that I cannot get. There it is. There's the pin in there, and then this just centers it, and then this piece is on top of that, and then collectively it all fits inside this hole. The washer puts pressure on that, so nothing's ever pushing these tight to anything. So I'm gonna preserve that concept. Just so you can see the tools I'm using real quick, I'm holding it all together in my vise, which I think I touched my lens and it won't focus anymore. Anyways, and I'm using my drill, and I'm using this step bit, which basically it will let me, it'll step in like 16th increments up to 1 inch, 1 1/8, but I didn't go all the way through. So filings, little oiled thread, and again, you could just buy these probably at the hardware. And then I'm cooling them in the snow and getting ready to throw them on. Okay, so we manhandled the loader in place. It's heavy, but it's doable if you have like 5 people. You could probably do it with 3. However, you cannot leave the front A-frame on because it will not let this come down all the way. And this is fully retracted here. So that means that at a minimum, you have to pull this pin and pull that assembly off on the front. So that adds about another 5 minutes to your install and remove time for your loader. Okay folks, I'm not going to have time to do a how long does it take to switch from blower to loader and loader to blower video just yet. I'll do that later. But that's what it looks like when you've taken off the 3-point assembly. You can leave the shaft on there and the loader's fine, but you cannot have the kickstand on. So that's it for now.